All right, welcome back, fifth graders. All right, today we are going to venture a little further into Chapter 7, Lesson 8 and 9. We're going to combine these two lessons. We're going to be talking about coordinate plane. Our objective here, we're going to locate some ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. We're going to locate ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. We're going to take a look at some ordered pairs and figure out, all right, what's the pattern? So we're going to take a look at all of this coordinate plane stuff. All right, so let's dig in. Let's start by taking a look at our vocabulary. And there's quite a bit of vocabulary, so in your notebook, let's get these written down. So first, we have coordinate plane. What is a coordinate plane? You guys probably just call it graph paper. Coordinate plane. It's a plane that is formed when two number lines intersect across. So think of graph paper. That's essentially what we're talking about here. Oops, we can't use pink or yellow. That's not going to work. Let's use red. All right, so we're talking about graph paper. I'm just going to go ahead and write graph paper. Okay. All right, think of graph paper. That's coordinate plane. Ordered pair. Pair of numbers that is used to name a point on that coordinate plane. And I'll show you exactly what that means. Put that parentheses x, y, because those are going to be our axes. That's how we're going to be able to locate this. The third one, the origin. That's our starting point. Okay? Think of the origin as our start. That's where we're going to start moving to figure out where these ordered pairs are located. It starts at the 0, 0, 0x, 0y, and we'll talk about that in just a moment as well. And then finally, the last two definitions, x coordinate and y coordinate. The x coordinate, think of it going this way, left to right, our horizontal, and our y coordinate, that goes up and down, or vertical. Okay? So, pause the video. Write down these definitions, and then I'm going to come back with a little bit more of an explanation. All right, so let's take a look at a coordinate plane here and all of these definitions that we just talked about. So, starting with our first one. So this is a point, okay, right here in the blue. So that is 0.98. We have our x-axis, that's the one that runs this way. We have our y-axis, that's the one that runs this way. Our origin that I talked about is right here, okay? That is our origin. I think we're missing one. Did I hit the button too early? All right. So, let's move along. All right, so in your notes, I would like you to write down the following. All right, so we always start. Step number 1, we start at the origin, 0, 0. Okay? Step number 2, we move to the right. And step number 3, we then move up. All right, so if we are looking at this coordinate plane with all of these different food items in it, and if we're asked to identify the actual points where these different items are located. So let's first take a look at this piece of cake. So again, we are starting here at the origin. And I am moving to the right, as it says there. So I am moving to the right until I get to where that cake is. That is a 3. Okay? And then I am going to move up. That's what it says right here. So I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go up 6. So when I write this point down, I'm going to go how far I went to the right. That was 3. And how far I went up, that was 6. So my actual point is 3, 6. Again, start at the origin, move to the right, that's your x, and then move up, that's your y, to locate the actual item itself. Okay? Alright, let's see if we can locate another item. Let's go ahead and see if we can find these fries. So again, I start here at my origin. I'm going to go over 1. And then I'm going to go up 8. So my actual point is, and I always put parentheses, it's how far I went to the right. That's once. And then I put a comma. And then it's how far I went up. That's 8. So my actual point is 1, 8. 1, 8. Alright, I'd like you guys to see if you can actually find the points of these other 3 items. See if you can locate the actual point of their location. You got the Jell-O, the donut, and it looks like a piece of bread. Maybe a hot dog bun? I don't know. Alright, locate those 3 items for me and then come back. Pause the video. Alright, let's take a look at these next 3 items. So first the Jell-O mold. So again, starting at the origin here, I'm going to be moving right. I am moving 7 times. And then I'm going to go up, which is 6. So my point is 7, 6. Okay? 7, 6 for the Jell-O mold. Alright, let's take a look at the donut. So locate the donut. It's over here, so I gotta go, again, starting at the origin, I go all the way over. I gotta go over 10, and I gotta go up 9. So it's 10, 9 for the donut. Again, I always write that X, how far I went to the right first, and how high I go, how much I move up second. Alright, and the last is this bagel. Let me get a different color here so you guys can follow it a little easier with me. So again, start at the origin, I go over, that's 5, I go up, that's 1, so it's 5, 1. So our piece of bread is 5, 1. I'm sure you got those 2 items or 3 items correct. Good job, guys. Let's continue. Alright, guys, I'd like you to go ahead and take a look at this. See if you can figure out number 1 and number 2. Pause the video. And then come back and see if you figured it out. If you need a little help, go ahead and push play. Let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so it is asking us to locate an ordered pair for point A. So point A is right here. So they want us to locate the X coordinate. So again, we always start at the origin. It goes over 2 to point A. So my X coordinate is 2, and then my Y coordinate, how high am I going up? I'm going up 1. So it's 2, 1. So my ordered pair is 2, 1. Remember, go left to right and then up and down. All right. Locate the name at the point at 4, 3. All right. Let me get rid of that writing here. Follow it maybe a little bit better. All right. So let's take a look at 4, 3. So again, starting at the origin like we always do, we go over 4, and I'm going to go up 3. So you can see the point there at 4, 3. That is the letter B. So locate this point, move. Well, I'm moving 4 units to the right, and I'm moving up 3 units. So the point is B. I'm sure you all were successful at finding those 2 locations. One, the coordinate. On the coordinate plane, you're finding the actual ordered pair, and then you're finding the point at the ordered pair. Doing both of those things. All right, let's move along. Okay, we have 6 points here. I'd like you to go ahead and locate them on the coordinate plane and identify their ordered pairs. Pause the video, find their ordered pairs, and then come back for the answers. Okay, So let's go ahead and take a look, guys. These ordered pairs. A, I'll locate it. So there is A. So for A, I'm going over 3, and I'm going up 4. Sorry, had to sneeze there. All right. Number 4, letter R. I'm going over 5 and up 5. So my ordered pair is 5, 5. Letter J, right below the R there, I'm going over 5 and up 4. So that's 5, 4. Letter E, I am going over 3. This one's tricky. I'm not going up any, right? So it's 3, 0. And letter Q, all the way up here, I'm going over 1 and up. Well, there's no number there, but I can tell that next number would be an 8, right? So it's 1, 8. And letter N, well, that's an easy one. That's at the origin, and we all know the origin is 0, 0. All right, so hopefully you got all of those 6 answers correct. Let's move along. All right, so now let's extend those ordered pairs that we just talked about into this example here. So it says Tricia and her friends decided to rent bikes to ride on a weekend trip. Bikes and More charges $5 for each hour, and each hour, and Adventure Bikes charges $10 for each hour. Find the cost of renting a bicycle for each store for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So Bikes and More, as we have up here, Bikes and More costs $5. So if I rent it for 1 hour, it's going to cost me $5. So think back to our pattern and sequencing. That's kind of a little bit of that. So if I'm renting it for 2 hours, that would be $10. If I'm renting it for 3 hours, that would be $15. I'm renting it for 4 hours, that's $20, because really all we're doing here is our rule. If you think back to our sequencing, is we're just multiplying it by, or I'm sorry, we're not multiplying, we're adding 5. Whoopsies, Mr. Day made a mistake. I'm adding 5 for each hour. All right, for Adventure Bikes, I'll do this one in yellow so you can differentiate. So we got Adventure Bikes, that is $10. Oh, they're a little more expensive, aren't they? So for 1 hour, that's $10. For 2 hours, that's $20. For 3 hours, that's $30. And for 4 hours, that's $40. So again, we could say that rule. See if I can get it right this time. I'm adding $10 for each hour, right? That is kind of our rule, thinking of sequencing that we talked about before. So if we were to take this and make each one of these into a point, an ordered pair, and that's essentially what we're doing down here. So our Bikes and More, our ordered pair would be 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, 4, 20. And our Adventure Bikes, point there, a point there, a point there, and a point there. 1, 10, 2, 20, 3, 30, 4, 40. All right, those are our ordered pairs for both of these two different bike companies. So they're asking this question here. How much would it cost to rent bikes for 3 hours from Adventure Bikes and then from Bikes and More? And the key line is how much more, right? That more is the key. So that tells me when I read that question, how much more, it tells me that I am subtracting. So what am I subtracting? I'm subtracting how much it's going to cost for 3 hours from the Adventure Bike. So after 3 hours here, let me get a yellow one, you guys can see that better. 3 hours here, it's going to cost me $15, and 3 hours here, it's going to cost me $30. So how much more is this one from this one? That's what they're asking. Well, I think the easy way to solve that, right, is we're going to be subtracting adventure bikes minus the bikes and more. So our total is going to be $15 more. Again, we use a lot of things that we have talked about here. We've talked about when we were doing sequencing and finding rules. We talked about ordered pairs here in a graph. And then we've also talked about here finding this word more. That tells us what operation we're going to be doing. We are going to be subtracting. All right, let's continue on. All right, so let's take a look at this problem here. So it says Speedy Cab charges $2 per mile traveled, while Purple Cab charges $4 per mile traveled. Find the cost of traveling 1, 2, 3, and 4 miles for both cab companies, and then graph the results as ordered pairs. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the first one. We'll call the Speedy Cab here. So how much does it cost? Speedy Cab here. Speedy Cab, that is this one here. It says it charges $2 per mile. So 1 mile would be 2. And 2 would be, well, what's our rule? Our rule is we are just adding 2, right? 4, 6, 8. So there are ordered pairs. So let's figure out what the purple, I guess I'll do that in purple. The Purple Cab, it says that the Purple Cab, starting right there, charges $4. So $4, $8, and again our rule here, we're adding $4 for each. 12, 16. Alright, so they want us to graph this. It says then graph the results of these ordered pairs. So let's first graph the Speedy Cab. So the miles, if you look down here, see our miles, see our costs. So, excuse me. So this miles, that is like our X, and our cost, that is like our Y. So we're going to go for our Speedy Cab. Our miles is going to be 1, 2. I'm going to make a dot. And then we're going to go 2, 4, over 2, up to 4. And then 3, 6, over 3, up 6. And then 4, 8, 4, 8. And one of the keys to this is it should be a nice straight line when you get done. If it's not a straight line, then you have made a mistake somewhere. It should be a nice straight line as you go through those. If you have one where you can't draw a straight line, then you made a mistake plotting your points. Alright, so let's go ahead and plot the Purple Cab now. So now it's 1, 4, make a point, and then 2, 8, so 2 up to 8, and then 3 up to 12, and the final point is 4, and then up to 16, the very top. And again, let's make a line that goes through all of those points. And it should be a nice straight line. So you can see those two graphs next to one another. Now, what is the question that they are asking us to solve? Let's go back to that question. Right here. Does the difference in cost between the two taxi services increase or decrease as the number of miles increase? So, the further I go up in miles, the further this goes up in costs, right? So it is going to increase. And as we talked about over here with the rules, Speedy Cab increases by 2 and Purple Cab increases by 4. So there are our points, and there is our graph as we have graphed those 2 points. Alright, so let's think about what we learned today. Well, we talked about ordered pairs. We talked about coordinate plane. We talked about X and Y axis. We talked about how we are supposed to plot. What is the order in which we plot those ordered pairs? And then once we have those ordered pairs, how do we graph them onto a coordinate plane? So we talked about a lot of things today. So let's try in our discussion here, let's remember all of the academic language. Those are all of our vocabulary words that we talked about today. So in summary, today I learned how to plot ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. We also learned how to make sure that we have a linear or a line when we plot those points. Thank you and have a wonderful day, guys.